Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still forming this bullish divergence as the German government just dumped $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, causing another short-term rejection from resistance, while Ethereum is also once again bouncing from this critical area of support. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to talk about the Bitcoin news today because just over the last few hours, over the last one day, we saw the German government just dump nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That is right. Just in the last few hours, the German government dumped close to 16,000 Bitcoin, just over 16,000 Bitcoin worth around 900 million. So nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin was dumped on the market just by the German government in the last few hours. And of course, this is happening just after we saw the German government dump more Bitcoin only a few days ago, as I covered previously here on the channel. And back then, they did actually dump in the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin just a few days ago. But this time around, they've dumped close to $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, once again, just in the last few hours. And so either the German government is desperate to raise money, basically the government is running out of money, or they're looking to just lower the price of Bitcoin. They really do not want to keep holding this Bitcoin, and they want to lower the price of Bitcoin and dump it on the market. And in case you're wondering, the German government still currently holds a little over 23,000 Bitcoin worth over 1.3 billion US dollars as of right now. And so basically, over the last one day, the German government sold nearly half of their Bitcoin holdings. And personally, if you ask me, this was not a very bright decision by the German government unless they were very, very desperate to raise money, because they're essentially selling a scarce asset, which is Bitcoin, for an asset, fiat currency, that they can effectively print out of thin air by issuing government bonds. Because basically any major government around the world could easily raise $1 billion if they needed to by issuing government bonds. And of course, the central banks around the world can also print money out of thin air, print fiat currency out of thin air in order to buy those government bonds, basically funding the government. And so essentially what happened here was the German government sold a scarce desirable asset for an asset that they can effectively print out of thin air anyway. And so that's why, if you ask me personally, I think this is not a very bright decision by the German government, but either way, they are helping to lowering the price of Bitcoin, at least in the short term, which is basically giving the rest of us some cheap Bitcoin to potentially accumulate, which is what I'm currently doing. And that's mainly based on this Bitcoin chart, but also this Bitcoin chart right here. First of all, on this 3-day Bitcoin chart, we do have the RSI sitting well below 50. In fact, it's getting closer towards oversold territories. And the last time it was this low, it was all the way back here in around August, September 2023. And of course, we can see what happened then in the price of Bitcoin. We saw a major pullback leading into that phase in the market. And then ultimately, just a few months later, we saw a recovery out of that phase in the market because the price did not confirm a break below this previous low, which takes to this chart right here. Because if we're looking at the super trend indicator on the 4-day time frame, at least for now, we have not confirmed a 4-day candle close below around 55.8k, so just below 56k, which is the point of invalidation for this super trend indicator right here on the 4-day time frame. And as of right now, the next 4-day candle close confirms in a little over 2 days from now. But if you want to know more about this chart and this chart right here, then check out my last couple of videos here on the channel, because over the last couple of days, these charts have not really changed all that much. And with that being said, taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, and just over the last one day, we've actually seen a very small bounce back to the upside here in the DXY. And over the last one day, we've seen a lot more choppy sideways price action in the short term for the price of Bitcoin. And so over the last one day, this chart as well has not really changed all that much. So if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, what we have seen over the last one day is a new lower low in the daily candle closes in the price of Bitcoin, because we just confirmed a new daily candle close back below this area of support, which is sitting in between around 56,500 to 57,500. But with that being said, even though we've just created a new lower low in the price in the candle closes, which technically invalidates the previous bullish divergence, we are still forming a new bullish divergence because we're still seeing lower lows in the price once again, while the RSI is still currently forming higher lows. But at least for now, we still need to confirm this new bullish divergence here by seeing a green candle close here in the price action, which could potentially happen in the next 1 day or so with this latest green candle right here if it confirms in the green. And if we do end up confirming this new bullish divergence, usually a bullish divergence plays out in the form of either choppy sideways price action or a slight bullish relief as the most likely outcome. So basically just a bit of a break or relief from the short-term bearish trends, but a bullish divergence by itself is not necessarily enough to confirm a bullish trend reversal. And so in order to confirm a bullish trend reversal, we need to see key breakouts above key resistance. First of all, we have this area of resistance in between around 60,000 to 61,000. And we have this area of resistance in between around 63 to 64K. So ideally, we need to start breaking out above key resistance in order to flip much more bullish again in terms of the trend and momentum here in the shorter term. But at least for now, if we do end up seeing that confirmation signal for this new bullish divergence, I do expect just a bit of a break from this short-term bearish trend, but not necessarily the end of the bearish trend. And if we're zooming into the 4-hour time frame, obviously, as of right now, we've left the weekend, and the moment the weekend was over, we started to see an increase in volatility. We saw that short-term dump, and then another short-term pump, and then another short-term dump again. So once again, choppy sideways price action, which is what I've been saying here on the channel. And we've also seen another short-term rejection from a retracement level. First of all, just around 1 to 2 days ago, we saw a rejection from this 50% retracement level, which is sitting at around 58.4K, acting as resistance. And just recently, over the last few hours, we saw another short-term rejection from this 38.2% Fibonacci level, which is acting as resistance, sitting at around 57.2K. And above those levels, we also have the golden pocket sitting in between around 59.6K to $60,000, acting as resistance. And we also have a possible double bottom pattern here, W pattern, but this only really confirms if we see a breakout back above around 58.4K, which is the neckline for the W pattern. And if we end up seeing that confirmed with a confirmed breakout back above 58.4K, then in that case, that would set up a short-term price target to the upside at around $62,000. But it is important to understand that at least as of right now, that price target is not active or in play because we have not seen a confirmed breakout back above 58.4K. And even if we do see a breakout back above 58.4K, between the point of the breakout and the price target, there's other resistance levels that we need to pay attention to where the price could still struggle at. And so either way, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take just about all of my trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here, which is a massive lucky draw happening right now. And this is only happening for the next 1 week. And so just by trading crypto using the link down below this video over on Bybit, you get these chances into this lucky draw where you could potentially win some free Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDT or a trip to an F1 race or up to $100,000 just by trading crypto using the link down below this video. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and over the last 1 day, we liquidated a decent amount of positions. First of all, we took out a lot of liquidity at around 55.9K, and then we saw that move back to the upside, taking out a lot of liquidity, sitting just underneath 58,000. And then right as the price was about to take out a lot of liquidity sitting closer towards 58,500 to 59,000, we saw the German government dump nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin on the market, which resulted in this short-term pullback right here. And so as of right now, we still have a lot of liquidity starting at around 58.2K, going all the way up towards around 59,000. And as for liquidity to the downside, we do have some liquidity in between around 54,000 to 54.2K. But with that being said, the majority of the liquidity is still currently sitting above the price of Bitcoin, closer towards 58 to 59,000. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and right now the price of ETH is experiencing yet another perfect bounce from this significant area of support based on previous support sitting in between around 2.8K to 2.9K. And so at least as of right now, that is still the critical area of support to pay attention to. And of course, we've just recently entered into oversold territories here in the daily Ethereum RSI. And historically speaking, this means we're at pretty much a local low in the price. And we're due to see at least a bit of a sideways consolidation or possibly a bit more of a bounce, just basically a short-term pause or relief from the bearish trend. But this signal by itself does not necessarily mean the bearish trend is over. And so like I've been saying for the last few days, we're most likely going to see a lot of choppy sideways price action here for the next few days, possibly over around 1 week, give or take, that sort of time frame. But then potentially we could end up seeing the continuation of the bearish trend later on. That is still a possibility that we need to consider. But for the time being, we're still playing out a lot of choppy sideways price action as expected. And if we're zooming into the 12-hour time frame, as of right now, we've seen yet another rejection from this Fibonacci level of resistance, which is sitting at around 3080. And so that is still the important resistance to pay attention to here in the short term for the price of ETH. But if we see a confirmed breakout back above 3080, then in that case, the next short-term resistance based on the Fibonacci retracement tool right here is sitting at around 3250. Above that, we have more resistance at just underneath 3.4K and more resistance in between around 3530 to around 3570. But once again, just in the imminent short term here, as in talking about the coming hours, maybe the next few days, possibly over the next week, give or take, that sort of time frame, expect a lot of choppy sideways price action as the most likely scenario, which so far we're seeing exactly as expected. And believe it or not, choppy sideways price action just like this is a gold mine in crypto. You can actually make a lot of easy profits in crypto in price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 12-hour time frame, and over the last 1 day, we did indeed see a lot more choppy sideways price action as expected. First of all, we saw a further rejection exactly from this area of resistance as expected in between around 140 to 144, and we saw that rejection exactly down to this area of support in between 120 to 128, and we bounced basically right on the dollar at 128. And so from this area of support, once again, we saw a bounce straight back into this area of resistance, which is exactly where the price began to struggle at again. And we saw another short-term rejection from that exact same area. And so this is why I've been saying over and over again here on the channel, these are the areas to pay attention to here in the short term. We have a lot of support in this price range in between 120 to 128, and a lot of resistance in this price range in between 140 to 144. And like I said in my last video, I'll not be surprised if we do end up seeing a lot more choppy sideways price action, so short-term bullish and bearish movements in this sort of price range right here. And even if we see a breakout back above 144, we still have a lot more resistance at around 154 and 160. And as of right now, we don't really have a strong trend or momentum to either direction in the short term for the price of Solana, because as you can see here, over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've basically just seen a lot of choppy sideways price action, just range-bound price action, very similar to what we saw back here, which is obviously not really a trend or significant amount of momentum to either direction. It's basically just going sideways, but with a lot of volatility in between. And once again, if you want to trade any of that volatility, then check out those links down below this video to get those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways like right now, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions. And the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.